We're talking some boxing. So, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Yeah. What about it?
Let's talk some boxing.
So, Tyson Fury had some comments to make about Deontay Wilder. Malik Scott had some comments. I watched the interview with Blue Blood Sports TV. And also was listening to Buddy McGirt and his comments on Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Let's go through them each one. First, Tyson Fury said he's focused on Deontay Wilder, on beating him. Malik Scott said they're working on stuff that Deontay Wilder already has in his arsenal, and they're just simply trying to enhance what Deontay Wilder already has. And the mentality of Deontay Wilder is to, press the attack, get the stoppage, right? Buddy McGirt's response to that was that, you want to do one or two things that would, enhance the fighter, and then two other things would come off of it. You have to know your fighter. And he was saying also that Deontay Wilder needs to study what's coming back at him. It's not just about being well conditioned in the sense of to be able to go 12 rounds to beat up a guy, but it's also about making sure you got your defense on point so that you're not taking unnecessary punishment. And Buddy's right. Buddy said it's all about taking a guy out or dictating a fight. He said it a different way. He said setting the tone or setting the tempo. He was talking about, Antonio Tarver, how he took, how he got him to take the tone or the tempo that Roy Jones Jr. set in the fight away from him. So he wouldn't work to his rhythm and stuff. And he was saying Roy and Floyd, that's what they like to do. And it's true. Lomachenko, Floyd, Roy, most ringmasters like to dictate. They like to be in control. And they like to set the tone very quickly in the fight. And he was saying Wilder, what Tyson Fury did was he did not allow Wilder to dictate the tone. He attacked him early. Now, I agree. It's all about being first. In boxing, we call it being first. And he's right. If Tyson Fury comes attacking Wilder again, what does Wilder do? Now, I disagree with, there was a gentleman on Blue's channel called Curtis. And Curtis said that Tyson Fury fights in the Crunk Gym style. Sort of, but not really. Let me explain. So he was talking about, Milton McCrory and, Mark Breland and Thomas Hearns and how that's the Crunk Gym style. Not really. I'm going to explain myself. So, Lennox Lewis was a good example of the Crunk Gym style because Lennox could fight a little bit on the inside. But for the most part, if you think about it, right? Just think about it again as a scientist. Tyson Fury can infight. And he can infight very, very well. Now, Deontay Wilder can infight as well. Let's not get it twisted, but it's just Tyson Fury's better at it than Deontay. As a result of that, as goofy and as sloppy as Tyson Fury may look, Crunk Gym fighters are not really known for their infighting. They're known for using the jab, staying on the stick, and staying to the outside of their opponents and using the jab various ways. All of them. Milton McCroy, Thomas Hearns, for some reason I can't, Donald Quarry, all them guys, they were known for that. And the right hand was the thing with Emmanuel Stewart. He loves timing that right hand. Vladimir Klitschko, right? My thing is this. My thing is Tyson Fury is not just that. He can switch hit. Tyson Fury is a guy who he can do a lot of things. But by working with Kronk Jim, he was able to kind of change up his stance a little bit, line up himself, still lead off with the jab, and still get to the inside. All right, Tyson Fury. Fantastic fighter, right? Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is this, that we're not really talking about, which is, Tyson Fury was talking about it's a fight, and, some guys be talking too technical. I don't know. People, my videos go around with something because it sounds like sometimes they're directly responding to me for some reason. And I ain't no boxer, you know what I mean? But I'm getting in the ring very soon, so don't worry. Don't worry. But I ain't no boxer. But just having a little bit of observational skills. One eye is smaller than the other. I notice on the radar as well. Interesting. Try is that this eye here. All right. Okay. That's not good. That's a bad sign. Anyways, man. Just to be real with you guys, man. Boxing is a technical sort of thing. And what was interesting was hearing Malik Scott talk about the feints that Usyk was throwing on Joshua. But we all know Usyk wanted to go where he wanted to go. We all know where Usyk wants to go, right? If you're a southpaw, you know what I'm talking about. But ultimately, in the end, Anthony Joshua still landed some shots on him. Like I said before, he was a step behind Usyk all night long. Usyk was controlling the thing. He was the orchestrator. So he was more or less in control. Even though Anthony Joshua had some hellacious shots on him, it wasn't consistent enough, to really get him in serious trouble. Now, anyway, having said all of that, the thing that Malik Scott was speaking about was the feints, and that Anthony Joshua was biting on some of those feints. And, I always talk to you guys about Floyd Mayweather's system of feints and feinting and how important it is and so on. But what I forgot to say is you have to establish the feint. What I mean by that is, and James Stoney was showing a feint or two to my dude, Caleb Plant, right? But one of the things you got to do is establish the feint. What I mean by that is, you got to actually hit a guy with a punch. If you're just trying to feint and you ain't throwing nothing, a guy will just not respect your feints and just not bite them. And then they'll just go straight at you. So, it's just a thing. But, what I find so intriguing in all of these people that spoke, whether it's Malik Scott or whether it's Buddy McGirt, or whether it's Tyson Fury, is they all said one thing that was similar, which is that Deontay Wilder, in facing Fury, he's gonna be able to have hopefully more weapons. And different people have different opinions. I was looking at Vidal Riley, and he was talking about how Canelo seems to be on a roll. I was listening to a lot of people are really strong on Canelo. Buddy thinks it's going to be an interesting fight because Caleb Plant is a very good fighter. So we'll see. I think that, again, by and large, this is a 50-50 fight. As much as Canelo has experience, Caleb Plant showed me how clever he is and very sly. He's sneaky with certain things. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the fight pans out. It may come down to what wows the judges per round. It may come down to something like that. But again, with boxing, it's all about how you apply yourself. how you apply the fundamental rules of boxing, you know? So we'll see. I mean, people forget that Canelo's the smaller fighter coming into the fight with Caleb Plant. He's actually coming up in weight. He's been at that weight class now for 3 fights, but he's still coming up in weight. So we'll see what happens with that. Not to say that Caleb Plant, should take for granted his size, but it's just that from what I saw with the altercation, Caleb Plant is plenty stronger than people think. I think he's stronger than Canelo actually, but time will tell. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. Those interviews, just a brief point. I don't want to belabor the point. I don't want to talk too much more. There's a lot more I could say, but instead I'll probably go to sleep, and you would too. So I'm gonna leave it alone. What you need out of here? I just thought it was interesting, those interviews. I think it was good stuff that was said by these professionals, who got way more fights than you and I, and way more experience and knowledge in sport of boxing. They don't break down the nuts and bolts for some reason. I don't know why. But I can tell you that there's a lots of nuts and bolts going on there. No matter what you think, there's a lot of nuts and bolts to it. This boxing sport is it's a lot. I wish I had one of those guys as my trainer, but everything in its time, I guess. Everything in its time. I'm gonna catch you guys later. What you need out. Peace.